Hey, what is going on, Geminis? Butch here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. And with that being said, let's get it. Universe, what is going on for Geminis? What do we see coming up for Geminis in the near future? What is going on for Geminis now? All right, Geminis, let's get right into this. This is a bit messy, but I think we can get through it. The first thing I see is I feel like this is definitely someone you already know. Now, whether for some of you it may already be a relationship, for others it could be a friendship that is definitely destined to be more. There's definitely more feelings here than just a friendship, but it may only just be a friendship for some of you as of yet. But there's definitely a deep connection between the two of you. We might only have scratched the surface on this. We have the Lovers card. You know, this is where we start off. Now, like I said, this may be someone you're already in a relationship with, or someone that a romantic relationship with. For others, it may be a friendship, but I do feel like there is some physical energy between the two of you, so we may have crossed that line. If it's just a friendship, or wanting to cross that line, or it's been heading that way. I just feel like you're pulled toward each other. You know, and with that Lovers card, I mean, there's a deep connection here that we haven't fully exposed. Like I said, we're only scratching the surface here. There's a lot more going on between the two of you. But I feel like there's some chaotic energy. Like I said, it's a bit messy. You know, we have that Tower card, and I feel like that doesn't symbolize this falling apart. In this read, it feels like it's a symbol. It's symbolizing what needs to fall apart so we can build the right thing. It's like we have the right foundation, but what we built on it isn't right yet. We haven't got it right yet. It's not perfect yet. And with that Five of Pentacles, I mean, it's like hot and cold energy. I mean, I feel like we're working toward it, but like in different shifts. You know? It almost feels like you work on it and they don't. They work on it and you don't. There's a lot of overthinking going on here. You know, with that Four of Swords, I mean, there's a lot of overthinking. thinking way too damn much here. And I feel like you're keeping each other in the dark about what you're thinking about with that Eight of Swords. You know, the self-imposed prison, keeping your thoughts to yourself. You're both thinking the same damn thing is what I'm seeing here. You're both thinking the exact same thing. But you're both reacting in the same way. I mean, so bear with me here, because this is, like I said, it's messy. We have the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Swords, so I feel like we're hiding things from each other because of fear. You know, fear of being completely open with each other. Because I feel like you've tried that before in the past with other people, and we come back to this, like, there's trust issues. You know, there's internal struggle. I feel like you both struggle with opening up. You both struggle with telling each other how much you really mean to each other and what you really want from each other. Even though you both feel it. Even though you both know what you want. The communication isn't happening. You know, we're not talking about it. I feel like you can talk to this person about anything. I feel like you do talk to this person about anything, but the one thing that really needs to be talked about, the elephant in the room. It started as a baby elephant. It's grown into a full-blown adult elephant. I mean, you both know what needs to be done. You know, with that Seven of Wands, but you're both being very defensive about it. You know, it doesn't mean you're being defensive or you're holding back for the same reasons. Because I do get the sense of one of you is holding back. One of you is holding back for a different reason. And I feel like it's... one or both of you are holding back for that same reason. I mean, it's a fear of needing that person, admitting that you need someone. But you do. I mean, I'm feeling a lot of interdependency. I feel like you really depend on each other. And it's like one of you is having a hard time admitting that they depend on the other one. Having a hard time admitting that they rely on that other person. And interdependency is different than codependency. Interdependency is when you both bring something to the table and you both give each other something. Something that you both need. But neither one of you are walking away from this. You know, we got the Eight of Cups in reverse. You're not walking away from this. What I see is we have to have a different approach. The approach that we've used so far is not working. You know, like that old saying goes, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I like the quote better is, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I feel like that's exactly what we see here. You know, we have these, the Emperor and the Empress. You put them together and they make something bigger. You know, I feel like you bring different things to the table, but I think it's both of you bring things that the other one needs. And it's almost like a hard time admitting that. And it's not even just admitting it to the other person. I feel like for some of you, it's admitting it to yourself. Now, like I said, and this may not be both of you. This may be one of you having a hard time admitting that they need the other one. The Emperor and Empress, it's that yin and the yang. They come together and make a whole. You know, it's the nurturer, the protector, the masculine, the feminine. And a lot of times when you get this type of energy, it's like you've been doing it so long by yourself that it's hard to let someone else in. It's like men when they barbecue. They don't let other people barbecue because they're like, this is my barbecue. Even if they're not good at it. They just have a hard time giving up the barbecue, you know? Or people that drive all the time. My sister, she's like that. She doesn't like to drive with anybody. If she's gonna be in a vehicle, she drives. Like if my mom needs to take her somewhere, she drives my mom's car. You know, she has a hard time giving up the wheel. And I'm actually the only person that she allows to drive. But that's because I'm the same way. Like I said, seeing this going a different way with this, just what it's telling me is just we need to be completely open and honest. And that may not be the message for you, but for your, the cross watcher. But that's the message. Being open and honest, we're going to see a huge transformation in this connection. And we're finally going to understand and see its full potential. It's kind of like watching a sunset on TV opposed to seeing a sunset in real life. It's completely different. You're never seeing the full scale of it all. You're not seeing the complete beauty of it because you're only seeing what the TV is allowing you to see. I always think back when you think about the black and white TVs that they used to have. Like, imagine watching the Nature Channel on a black and white TV. I see a lot of happiness for the both of you, but like I said, we have to be in a situation of no regrets, no holding back. The 9 of Cups, filling up all your cups. I mean, you have an incredible connection with this person. We haven't seen. I mean, I'd be surprised if you've seen 10% of the potential of this real connection because I feel like there's this holding back. And like I said, it does feel like you're working in shifts. We got to get on the same shift. It's more productive. It's much more productive. Neither one of you are going anywhere. Both you know what you want. Now it's time to get it. Let's get it. It's about being open and honest. It's about being bluntly honest. It's like that saying goes, the truth will set you free. That's exactly what I see here. I mean, we have Gemini. We have Aquarius. We have some Libra as well. Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Scorpio and Cancer. Some Taurus. Sometimes the biggest hurdle is ourselves. Like sometimes we know with every fiber of our soul, we know what we want. But it's getting from our head to our mouth sometimes is the issue. Not being able to admit what we want. And that can, there's so many different hurdles we put in front of that, whether it be we're afraid to admit because we're afraid to be vulnerable, we're afraid to admit because we're afraid to be wrong, we fear a lot of things, and everything we want is on the other side of fear. You know, like I said with this reading, I mean, I'm getting one person is almost, it's almost like they're having a hard time admitting it to themselves. They know what they do. They're just having a hard time admitting, saying it out loud. You know, it reminds me of that movie, The Gladiator. It's like we all have this vision of Rome, but even a whisper can make it go away. You know, saying it out loud could destroy it all. It's not that big. It's not that big. You know, sometimes we make things too big. You know, sometimes we, like I said, we lone wolf it till we meet that right one, and then we just, it's like if you had a wolf, since we already used that analogy. You have this wolf that's always been by itself. It grew up by itself. It, you know, it never had, never around any other wolves. Now, one day it meets another wolf, and it wants to be close to this wolf. You know, it feels drawn to it. It wants the companion. But it's been ingrained in it for so long that they're by themselves and they're better by themselves. You know, it's hard to integrate into that. It's not impossible, it's just harder. You know, and just like some people love being around people and they don't like being by themselves. It's the same thing. Being by themselves can sometimes be really hard because they're so used to being with other people. You know, just because we've had something built into us, or just because we had to do something a certain way for a certain amount of time, doesn't mean it's the right thing. Sometimes it's just what we got. And until we get something better, that's what we're stuck with. Anyway, be good. Take care. Stay safe.